Hi guys, so okay, I am about to make a tutorial on the little penguins that I showed yesterday. I had a lot of requests for it, so I am going to go ahead and show you what you'll need. So you're going to need two types of acrylic paint, white and black, and you can find these anywhere, Walmart, Michaels, anywhere. So you'll need that. You're going to need some of these pipe cleaners. I got them in white. You're also going to need some felt. Now I'm going to have a problem because this is the only piece of felt that I have left. I should have gone to Michael's, but it's a ways from me, so I really didn't feel like it. So I'll just show you more or less how to make the hat to fit your light bulb for your little penguin. You're also going to need foam sheet, and you can get just like the regular plain black, but I wanted a little bit of bling on it, so I got the glitter one. This I found at Michael's next to the felt. So I think I paid like 89 cents for this one. And as you can see, I pre-cut all my little wings and my tail. And look at, I have a lot left. So one sheet is going to be more than plenty. You're also going to need foam sheet again in orange. And I'm going to use this for the little beak and the feet. And a hot glue gun. And you're going to need wire. You can use floral wire if you have. I got this at Michael's as well, and it is it's wire, but it's got like a mesh, like a silver mesh, and I paid 99 cents for this. And then a light bulb. So that's basically what you need. I find that if you have a marker, that could be helpful, and I'll show you why later on. But anyway, to get started, you're gonna need a paintbrush. So let me grab my paintbrush. So you're gonna need a paintbrush. I have this one here. All right, so you are going to put a little bit of white paint on a plate or anything. Take your, whoops. See, sorry about that. It's hard because I got the tripod right in front of me, in front of my nose. All right, so I already started painting this one. Now, you might have to go back and give it maybe 2 or 3 coats. I like to do thin coats opposed to a really thick coat, and then dry it up in between, only because it dries faster. So I normally heat it up with a heat gun or a hair dryer between coats, and then you can just go back and make it really opaque. So I would say 3 coats will do it. This is the second coat on this one. And just get in there and cover it all up. And this is the second coat, and as you can see, it's pretty opaque. Now you can go ahead and dry it with a hair dryer or a heat gun. Just if you're gonna use a heat gun, don't get too close because you'll make the paint bubble up. Make it, you know, put it far from it. But first, oh, another thing you can do is you're gonna need something to stand these up to dry. You can either take a bowl and make a hole like this, which is what I did, and just stick it in there. Or I'll show you another way to do it. You can tie it. So if you want to tie it first, which is what I recommend because it's easier. Let's see if this will stay. Take your wire because you're going to need it anyway, and let's do this one. And you're going to wrap it around. So this can be your first step before you do any kind of painting. Just wrap it around your bulb. It's hard to do this with the camera in front of my face. And I like to go into one of these little rings here and tie it and make a knot. And tie it tight and make a knot. And then measure out how long you want your little loop to be, and I want mine to be there. So I'm going to tie it again. Yeah, that's where I want mine. And you don't have to worry about that not being perfect because that's going to be inside the little hat. So there you have your knot, and then it'll hang like that. Line it up to where it's going to be at the back. This is going to be the front. So this excess can be cut off. And then because I don't want it to, you know, swing around, I'm just going to put a dot of glue. Line it up and put a dot of glue right at the knot. And I'm going to put one in the front as well. Now what I like to do once I know that the glue isn't scorching hot, I like to press it so I don't have a bulky spot. And that's going to keep it nice and steady. If you're doing this with kids, this part you need to do because they will burn themselves. All right. So then once you have it, make this your first step. And then once you have it, you can paint your light bulb and then just hang it somewhere to dry. All right. So now that you've given your light bulb 2-3 coats, whatever it is that you like, then you're gonna go ahead and kind of draw. Now let me see if I can do this. And I like to start maybe like 1/2 inch away from the rim of the bulb. And you're gonna make almost like a heart shape. And this is why I like to paint the entire thing white, because you can draw better. So you're gonna do almost like a heart shape right here. I hope you can see that. And just bring it down some. Kind of compare to the other side. So it's almost like an M. All right, and then you're gonna go and you're gonna do like that little curve. See? And then you're gonna draw in the belly. And the same here. You don't have to be very neat either. Paint fixes everything. I'm gonna draw that belly. So then you look at it and you see, okay, well, that's good enough, but I think this side is a little bit more curved, so I'm just going to close it in a little bit here. So, and I think, see how this side is a little more in? I'm just going to come in and close it in more. So you just look at it and play with it. So I think that's fine. So here for the point, because it's going to be very hard unless you have like a really thin paintbrush, I'm just going to fill that in with the marker. So I get a really nice point. Just fill it in. And if you're doing this with kids, you can do the outline yourself and then have them color it in. All right. So now that we have that, let me rinse my brush because I only have one. Now that you have that, I'm gonna go into my black. And just paint it. I like to hold it upside down. Just carefully kind of go in there. Sorry, I'm not talking, but if I talk and try to do this, it's not gonna work. I'll be all over the place. Oh, I'm out of the camera. And you see how I have that little mark there? I'm not gonna worry about it because the wing is gonna go there. So I do the outline first and then I color in the rest. Another good thing I'm painting it white as well is because you only need one coat of black because it's going to adhere to the acrylic paint that's already at the base. So you only need a one coat of black. So that's what we have so far, and I think this little point here is more in, so I'm just gonna go in a little tiny bit more. And now we'll just paint the rest, and I like to go a little bit over the rim just because I don't want none of that white showing. And acrylic paint is great because it's water. It comes off with water. Not that it's water, it comes off with water, opposed to oil-based paint. And just cover it on. And there we have the beginning of our little penguin. See? And these are really fun to make. They're so relaxing to make too. All right, so then you want to let that dry. You can either hit it with a blow dryer or a heat gun and let it dry. I'm gonna lay mine down because to save time, I already have a dry one here. All right, now what you want to do is you'll want to get your little hat, your little red felt, and you're gonna cut it. Man, I wish I had a bigger piece, but I don't. You're gonna cut it like a triangle, but you're going to give it a little bit of a curve. So almost like just a little bit of a curve. So it's not so pointy at the edges. So you'll want something like this. See how it looks curvy? And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna go around your bulb. Of course, if you had a bigger piece, it'll work a lot better. Go around your bulb, position it, and then you'll glue it here. And then once you have it glued, of course, make a hole, or actually don't make a hole yet. Once you have it glued, you'll bend this down. Let me see if I can do something. Hold on, just to give you the gist of it, because I'm going to all right, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna show you with a piece of paper what I'm talking about. I'm gonna show you with a piece of paper what I'm talking about. So sorry. So you would make take like a little triangle, cut it where it's enough, and you're gonna cut this. Just pretend this is the felt, like that, like with a little curve, right? Then you're gonna take your light bulb and you're gonna measure it out, and measure it to where to the side or whatever. So after you have it like that, you would cut this, whatever excess you have. So I have a lot of excess, so I'm gonna cut that out and then glue it. So let's glue that. You're just gonna glue the hat. Don't glue it to the light bulb yet. Make sure it's nice and snug and it's where you want it to be. So then you'll have something that looks like that, okay? But of course with your felt. After you got that done, so you want the seam to be on the side. So it could, you know, you could bend it over and hide that seam with your little hat. So you're gonna just bend it like that. Make sure you don't get your, you don't glue that down. Bend it and just kind of like bunch it up and glue that down. So we'll glue this down just to give you the idea. Don't glue all the way to the tip down because you want to put your little puff thing there. So you will have something right now that looks like that, but of course with your felt. You could take it off because you already know and measured it. Just keep holding it down until it dries. So now that you have your base, right, you'll take a piece of your pipe cleaner. I would say maybe 3 inches. And you can just start rolling it. They also sell the little cotton little balls at Michael's, and they're real tiny, but I don't want to spend money. So I'll just make something myself. So then you just mold it. So now you have your little ball there. And then you would go and put some glue on it. And put it at the very tip. So you got that part down. And then now I want to put the fringe around it. So I'll put it right back onto the penguin. And now I'll just take the pipe cleaner and I'll start it where the seam is at. Put a little dot there. And I'll stick it in. And then I'll just go around it. Of course it's gonna look better if you have the felt, the red felt. But I don't have any, I'm so sorry. Go around it. go around it again. And as you go around, you just keep gluing it. See? And once you get here, you'll cut it. And put a little glue dot right there. And press it in. Pull it out. And there you have your little Santa hat, ready to put on the penguin once you're done. Okay, I just messed that up right there. That's the thing, if you get glue on it and then you pull it out, you're gonna take the paint with it. But it's no biggie, just go over it again with some paint. This video is gonna be so long. All right, so then for the feet, you'll take your orange foam sheet and just draw penguin feet. Let's see. Penguin feet will be something like this, right? And then just cut it out. Let me just cut this piece out. And just cut around it. You'll probably draw a better foot than I. And then you can take the same one and use it to cut the other one, so that way your feet are the same. Okay, just trace it and cut it. I already have mine cut here, so I'm going to go ahead and put it on my penguin. And you can decide where you want it. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the feet. And I want mine to be right here. And do the same for the other one. Try to match him up a little bit. And I like to put him kind of outwards, you know. So there you got your feet. Now, for your wings, you will take your black and just kind of, you know, draw a wing. And I already have mine drawn here. So it's almost like a teardrop. So you would just cut like a teardrop that looks like that. And you would just cut this out, you know, outline it out, and you will end up with something that looks like this. Okay, so then you will come here and put a little bit of glue right here. And I like to put these right where the edge, you know, this curve of the light bulb starts. I'll put it right there. And just press it in. And do the same for the other one. When you cut it out, use the one to stencil out the other one, so that way they're the same size. And more or less eye it out. Mine starts about there, right at the curve of the light bulb. and press it. So now you have the little wings and you have the little feet. Now we'll connect the hat. So for the hat, I already showed you how to make it, sorry, with paper. I'm going to put it this side, okay? So what you want to do is take the edge of the scissors and just go right through the middle carefully. And what you want to do is make a hole right at the top, like that. So I have a hole there. You just can't see it very well. And then take a bobby pin. Let me see if I find a bobby pin. So sorry about that. You take a bobby pin and you just put it through like that, and then just push it through the hole that I made. And then I'm going to connect it to my penguin. And I'm going to put the little hat to the side and press his little hat down. Alright, so I know that that's where I want it, and I'm just going to glue it. Just going to lift up the hat a little bit. Start from the back. And I'm going to press it down. So there you go, right? Now, you can either choose to use the black paint and put 2 dots with the end of your, you know, even your paintbrush. But I have these little eyes. I got these little eyes at Michael's as well. So that's what I'm gonna be using. So let's put those little guys in. And you don't want a lot because you don't want them to be all bulky. Just a little bit. You just position your little eyeballs like that. So we have our little eyes. Okay, now for the beak, all I did, I took my little orange thingamajig here and just draw in a diamond. Let me see if I can show you. Just like if you were to draw a diamond. Something like that. And then you would just cut it out. Okay, so that's going to leave you with a diamond shape.